This is a demonstration video on how to work with Proctored test. This video is prepared for the head office and the branch office in the admin department. Proctored tests are nothing but tests that are taken up by the students under the supervision of an invigilator. As it is mentioned over here, these are the tests that are taken by students at registered test centers after booking a slot for the same. What happens in a Proctored test is that the branch office or the head office creates a test and schedules the Proctored test. The branch office will prepare the slots for the same. Once the slots are prepared, these slots will be available for the students to book. The students, just like a movie ticket, can book the slots. Once the slots are booked, the students will have to reach the registered test centers at the scheduled time. Once they reach there, the branch office will generate unique password for each student, and this password will be provided to the students. Only if the student enters the correct password, the student will be allowed to take up the exam. This demonstration video will be able to answer the questions on how to create Proctored tests, how to schedule Proctored tests, and how to schedule, reschedule, edit or delete slots, and how to view the number of slots that have been booked so far, and how to generate exam passwords for the students. To create Proctored tests, go to the Academics tab and click on Quick Paper Maker. You can also create question paper by any other method. I'll create a section 1 in the demo. If you would like to have additional sections, you can add them by clicking on this plus button. If you would like to have subsections, you can do that by clicking on this child button. I hope you would have created questions and you would have the question IDs in hand. So you can enter the question IDs here. I'll click on Make Paper option. This is the page where you set marks for each section or for each question individually. I'll set 3 marks for the correct answer and -1 for the wrong answer. Once you click these 2 buttons, it means that you are setting the mark for the entire section. If you would like to set it individually, you can set it here. I'll click on Publish button. This is the place where you give name for the Proctored test. Let me name it as Proctored test 5. This is the date. Keyword can be anything depending on the subject. Category is Proctored test. Make sure that you fill this category as Proctored test. Only then the admin will have the ability to schedule slots for the same. You can provide this question to online inquiry, enrollment, assignment, or anything else. I'll select Gate Player. This start date and end date is the date between which the Proctored test will be available. This will be provided by the head office. If you don't like to have a fixed date, you can remove this off. This is the year to which you are going to publish this test. This is the time limit provided for the students. I'll give 1 hour. In case you have instructions for this test, you can enter the instructions here. You can also override these sectional marks here by entering it here. If you have instructions for individual sections, you can enter them here. I'll click on Make Online Test. This is the page where you are mapping these tests to the students based on the center, course, or delivery format. I'll map it to entire India. You can map it based on course, delivery format, batch. Once you're done with the mapping, it means that the Proctored test has been made available. So now, each branch office or the head office can directly go to the Academics tab and click on Proctored test schedule to schedule slots. Since I'm going to schedule slots for Proctored test file, click on Schedule button here. You can find out that the start date and end date is between 16th of October and 31st of October. If you are a branch office for Bangalore office, you will find out that you can schedule slots only for Bangalore. In case the admin has rights over 2-3 centers, he will see them in the drop down. For the head office, all the centers will be available in their drop down. I will schedule on 17th of October between 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. since this is a 1-hour test. Number of slots is the number of computers that are available. If there are 10 computers, 10 students can take up the test. So the number of slots will be 10. If you would like to have additional slots, you can add them here. I'll give a 15 minutes break and start off the next test between 10:15 and 11:15. If you like to do it for other days, you can do that the same day. If the number of slots is less than 10, you can also enter these by entering the exact value here. Once all the slots are filled, you can click on the schedule button. I'll schedule slots for Hyderabad. So this is a screen where you see the Proctored test schedule. It has been scheduled on 17th of October between 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. for 10 slots, and the number of slots that have been booked so far is 0. If the number of slots that have been booked is 0, you can delete this by clicking on this delete button. Even if one of the students books a slot, you cannot delete this. If you would like to modify, you can do that by clicking on this edit button. After the modification, you can click on the schedule button to update the schedule. This is what happens when the students books the slot. The number of slots will increase accordingly. Whenever the student comes up to the exam center for taking up the test, you need to generate and provide a unique password for each student. To do that, click on the slot for which you have to generate the password. Click on the books account and you get a pop-up page like this with the password. This password is unique and it is different for individual. Once the password is entered, the student can take up the test normally.